So guys, before you start making your beanie, it's very important to know your measurements, and the most important measurement and the only measurement you'll be needing is the measurement for the circumference of your head. So if you don't know how to take that measurement, I'll be leaving a diagram on the screen to teach you how to take the measurement. The diagram is not mine. I always have to put this disclaimer out there. I got it from Pinterest, it's not mine. And if you don't have a tip, not to worry, I'll be leaving another diagram I also got from Pinterest so that you'll be able to determine your measurements. It could also be that maybe you're making it for someone that's not close by. This diagram will really help you a lot. To begin, we're going to start by making a slip knot, and this is how to make a slip knot if you don't know how to. Now you're going to insert your hook like this. Once you've made your slip knot, we're going to go ahead and make a foundation double crochet. So this is kind of a bit different from how we normally make our foundation double crochet in the previous beanie tutorials I have taught, but it's not really new and it's pretty easy to do. So now I'm going to try and explain the process as slow as possible, but if you find this still fast for you, you can reduce the playback speed of the video. So the next step is to chain up 3. Once you have your 3 chains made already, you're going to yarn over and turn your work to the back. Now insert your hook into the back loop of the very first chain that you made, not the slip stitch but the first chain. Now yarn over and pull through the back loop. It's actually very important to note that all your loops should be at the same length. This will make your work not slack or fold when you're done. So the next thing you're going to do now is to yarn over and pull through 1 loop. And you should have 3 loops on your hook. So now you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And we've just made our first foundation double crochet. So now yarn over and turn your work like this. So we are going to go back to the bottom of this first double crochet and insert our hook on the top. So when you flip your work like this, you'll notice like there is a V-shaped stitch, like it will look for a normal double crochet stitch. So now you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into that V-shaped stitch of the previous double crochet that you made. Now yarn over and pull through. Now remember, these 3 loops should be at the same length. So now you're going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So let's do this again. To create the next stitch, you're going to yarn over. Now flip your work and go back to the bottom of the last double crochet that you made. You would see this V-shaped stitch, that is this, at the bottom. So you're going to yarn over and insert your hook beneath that V-shaped stitch. So yarn over, pull through. Remember, this should be at the same length. Then yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over, pull through two loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining two loops. So now let's do this again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the bottom of the last double crochet that you made, like so. Now yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook and they should be of the same length. Now yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So you're going to keep on doing this till you get to your desired measurements. The circumference of my head measures 22 inches. I usually just subtract 2 inches because this is going to stretch out, but it varies. It depends on the type of yarn you're using. This is actually a new cotton yarn. If you're using like a pure cotton yarn, I think cotton yarns don't usually stretch, so you might just have to like make this up to 22 inches. But if you're using a stretchy yarn, just make sure that when you stretch this out a bit like this, you should be able to wrap around your head or measure up to your hair circumference. Like mine is 22, so if I pull this slightly like this, you should be able to measure 22 inches by the time I am done. So I'm done with my foundation double crochet, and I did a total of 74 double crochet stitches. This measures up to 20 inches and it's perfect for me. So the next step now is to attach both ends together. That is these 2 ends like this. So for this beanie, we're going to be working in the rounds. I forgot to add that at the beginning. So we're going to be attaching this side to this side. Advise that you take note of the bottom of your work and the top of your work so that when you attach, you won't make any mistake, because the bottom and the top kind of look similar. So now to attach both sides, I'm going to loosen up one stitch. Remember I said I had 74 stitches, so I'll loosen up one stitch and that will leave me with 73 stitches. Now insert your hook and you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the bottom of the last double crochet that you made like usual. Now you're going to come to the other side of your work. So this is the bottom of the first double crochet that we made. Mind you, this chain 3 that we made at the beginning does not count as a stitch. Please do not count it as a stitch. So you're going to go into the bottom of the very first double crochet here like so. Now yarn over and pull through the first double crochet that you made here and the last double crochet here. Now yarn over, pull through one loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. And we've successfully joined both sides together like so. But if you notice, here is still kind of open. We only joined the bottom part, so we are going to slip stitch into the very first stitch that we made for our foundation row, that is here. Do not slip stitch into the starting chain, it doesn't count as a stitch. So now insert your hook into the very first double crochet and make a slip stitch. And that's it for row 1. So now for row 2, you're going to chain up 2, and this chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. So now you're going to make a double crochet in that very same stitch that you made your slip stitch in. Then in the next, going with a double crochet. So it's very important to note that this is kind of like a freehand project, so The number of double crochet stitches and strawberry stitches you make in a row depends on you, depends on your taste, depends on how scanty you want the strawberry stitches to be on your beanie, or how much you want them to be in your beanie. So me, I kind of wanted mine to be a bit scanty, not too scanty, and I'll be leaving the number of double crochet stitches I made for each row and the number of strawberry stitches I made for mine. I actually freehanded it, but I wrote it down. This will kind of help if you're working with the same number of foundation stitches like I am. But if you're working with lesser amounts of foundation stitches or more foundation stitches than mine, I would advise that you freehand, even though you're working with the same amount of foundation stitches that I am using. You can still freehand this and make it yours. That's the beauty of creativity. So now let's go back to the tutorial. Okay, I already have 2 double crochets made. From my notes, I did a total of 6 double crochets before the strawberry stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and make 4 more double crochets in the next 4 stitches. So now I have 6 double crochets made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in order to make the strawberry stitch, you're going to loosen the last double crochet that you made a bit and insert your hook like so. So this is how it should look like. Now go in with the color of yarn that you want to use for a strawberry stitch and yarn over, pull through. Now you'll be left with a loose end, so I like to kind of carry it and place it beside my stitch so I can hide it. Now yarn over and make 7 double crochets in the next stitch, which is this. So once you're done, you're going to pull this out a little bit so that it doesn't loosen, and go in with the second color for the strawberry. I'm making use of green. So now you're going to insert your hook into the very first double crochet that you made with the red yarn or whatever color you're using. Now then insert your hook into this loop here. Now pull this a little bit and attach your green yarn. So you're going to pull this through here and through this first double crochet stitch like so. So once you've done that, you're going to insert your hook in between the double crochet stitches, yarn over and pull through, then go in between the next 2 double crochet stitches, yarn over, pull through. Now in between these 2, yarn over, pull through, in between these 2, yarn over, pull through, in between these 2, yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to go into the last double crochet. You should have a total of 7 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through the 7 loops on your hook. Chain up 1. You're going to go back to your main color, mine is pink, and chain up 1 again. So what I like to do is to pull my loose ends here. You can decide to hide this or you can decide to tie it. I actually just tie up mine. Then cut. If you're hiding it, you have to leave a longer loose end for that. But if you're tying like I am, this is enough. So just go in and tie this up to secure. So in the next stitch, we're going to go in with a double crochet. Now from my notes, I did a total of 21 double crochets before my strawberry stitch. So I'll go ahead and make 21 double crochets. So I already made my 21 double crochets after the first strawberry stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my yarn for my strawberry stitch. You can decide to make 2 strawberry stitch at once or 3, depends on you. So now I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And in the next stitch, go in with 7 double crochets. So once you made your 7 double crochets, you're going to insert your hook in the very first double crochet you made for your strawberry stitch, and into here, go in with your green yarn over, and pull through this loop and through the first double crochet that you made. So now we're going to insert our hook in between the double crochets and pull up a loop. You can use your hand to create the space if you're finding it hard to go in through it. So once you have your 7 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through the 7 loops. Chain up 1, then go in with your main yarn and chain up 1, like so. So you're going to pull all your loose ends and tie. If you're hiding it, you can hide it with a darning needle, or you can hide it with your hook. So now you're going to turn your work and make the desired amount of double crochets till you get to where you want to place your strawberry stitch. And for me, I did a total of 18 double crochets. So I'm done making my 18 double crochets. I'm going to loosen this up and attach my yarn for my strawberry stitch. So in the next stitch, go in with 7 double crochets. Once you've done this, you're going to insert your hook into the very first double crochet that you made here and into the loop, and go in with your green yarn or whatever color you're using. Pull this through like so. Now we're going to insert our hook in between the double crochets and pull up a loop. So we have 7 loops on our hook. Then yarn over and pull through the 7 loops. Now chain up 1 and go in with your main color and chain up 1 again. So you can either tie this or cut this as usual. So after this, we're going to go into the next stitch and make double crochets, and make as much double crochets as you like till you get to the stitch that you'd like to place your strawberry stitch. And for me, I did a total of 17 double crochets. So I'm done making my 17 double crochets. I'm going to loosen this up and make my strawberry stitch. Sorry. Or better still, just make your last stitch like this. So I'm left with 8 stitches on this row. I'm just going to make a double crochet in each of them. I won't be making any strawberry stitches again for this row. So remember not to place any stitch in your slip stitch. This stitch here, the slip stitch you made on the previous row, it doesn't count as a stitch. So now we're going to skip this chain 2 here and slip stitch into the first double crochet for the row. So if you find it hard locating the first double crochet of each row, I'd advise that you place your stitch marker after you make your first double crochet to make it really easy for you. So for the third row, we're going to chain up 1 and we're going to go in with a single crochet in the very first stitch, that's the place we slip stitched in. So now we'll be making single crochet in each stitch till we get back to our starting chain. So if you don't know how to make a single crochet, this is how you make a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook in here, yarn over and pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. You're going to do this in each stitch till you get to the starting chain. And when you get to the strawberry stitch, you're going to insert your hook in here and make a single crochet. Then continue making single crochets in each stitch till you get to your strawberry stitch again. So I've worked my single crochets in each of the double crochet stitches and I'm almost at the next strawberry stitch. So now you're going to insert your hook in here and make a single crochet on top of the strawberry stitch. Then continue making single crochets around. So I've made single crochets in each stitch and I'm now at my starting chain. Remember I said if you find it difficult locating the first stitch, always place a stitch marker after you've made the stitch. So now I'm going to skip this chain 1 that I made here and insert my hook in the first single crochet for this row and make a slip stitch. So the body of the beanie will just be us repeating row 2 and row 3 till we get to our desired length. Okay, so I'm going to teach this one time again, then I'll leave what I did for each row so you guys can follow through. Like I said, this is a freehand project. In some rows I just made double crochets without any strawberry stitches, and that was because I felt like the strawberry stitches on my projects were already looking much, so I just did like a single row of double crochets, but I'll be leaving the guideline as to how I did mine on the screen for you guys to like follow through if you're working with the same number of foundation stitches like I am. But if you're not also working with the same number of foundation stitches, you can just look at it to like get a guideline as to how to do yours, or just go with your flow. We are all creative in our own ways. So now let's do the 4. So you're going to chain up 2, and remember our chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, so as the chain 1 for the rows with single crochets, they don't count as a stitch. Please do not make any stitch in them. You're going to spoil your work, and always make sure that at the end of each row you have the same number of stitches that you had when you started. Okay, so after that you're now going to make a double crochet in that same stitch like so, and when you've done that you're going to make as much double crochet as you would want to make till you decide to make a strawberry stitch. And let me consult my notes. I did a total of 17 double crochets before my strawberry stitch. So guys, I'm done making my 17 double crochets. I'm now going to go in and do the strawberry stitch. After making your strawberry stitch, you're going to go back to making your double crochet, and I did a total of 19 double crochets before my strawberry stitch. So I made a total of 19 double crochet stitches. I'm going to go ahead and make my strawberry stitch. Now we're going to go back and make double crochets in the next stitch. So from here I'll be leaving what I did on each row. You're supposed to continue building up your work till this measures 6 inches. So if you're making this for a smaller size, you can work this till it measures 5 inches. But if you're making this for an adult size, this should measure 6 inches. And I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine. So I just want to show you guys how I finish up my work. I'm going to slip stitch into the first double crochet like we've been doing, chain 1 and cut. So since I have like a short loose end, I'm not going to be cutting. So this is how mine looks like. This measures 6 inches. So now the next step is to close up the top area. So we're going to be doing this with a slip stitch. We'll be slip stitching to join. So this is going to be the cartier side. So now, in order to attach the top parts, we're going to turn our work to the back. And this is how mine looks. So if you've been hiding your loose ends for the strawberry stitch, yours will look cleaner. I kind of like how it looks. Maybe it's the laziness in me talking, but I really love this. I love the burst of colors, and it's kind of giving me like a reversible cat hat beanie, so I can wear it like this, or I can wear it like this. So now let's attach the top parts. Now you're going to identify where you want to be the middle of your work. It could be anywhere. You can decide to do it like this. You can decide to do it like this. So it could be anywhere actually. So since I chose this side to be the corner of my work, I'm going to insert my hook in here and in the next stitch on this other side, which is here. Then I'm going to slip stitch to join. In order to do that, you have to attach your yarn like so, then chain up one, then you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch on this side and the next stitch on this side, and yarn over, pull through to make a slip stitch. So I'm just kind of noticing that I'm slip stitching with another shade of pink. I don't know if you guys can notice. I don't know why I made this mistake, but I'll just continue. Now you're going to go into the next stitch and the other stitch on this side and make a slip stitch. So this is what you're going to do till you get to the very end of the row. So I'm almost at the end of the row. I have 4 stitches remaining, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. So I'm just going to attach them together. And I have 2 remaining. So chain up one and cut when you're done. So now we're going to make the border. So if you stopped at a single crochet row, you should start up with a double crochet. But if you stopped at a double crochet row, you should start off with a single crochet. So just insert your hook at the side of your work, and for me, I'll be making a row of single crochets. So I'm going to single crochet till I get to my starting chain. So I've worked my way to my starting chain, so I'm just going to slip stitch in the very first single crochet that I made to join. Now chain up 2. So after chaining up 2, we're going to do something a bit different. That is, turn your work and place a double crochet in the next stitch. So now you're going to keep on placing double crochets in each stitch till you get to your starting chain. I want to show you guys how I do the last stitch. So I'm going to be placing my last stitch in the same stitch that I made my chain to earlier. Then slip stitch in the first double crochet that you made. Then chain up 1. After that, turn your work and make a single crochet in the next stitch. So I'm just going to make single crochets in each stitch till you get to your starting chain, then you slip stitch to join. For the next row, you're going to chain up 2, then turn your work and make double crochets in each stitch till you get to your starting chain, then slip stitch to join like we've been doing. So now we're going to do something a bit different for the next row. Chain up 2. So now we're going to be making the front post stitch. To do that, go into the next double crochet stitch. Instead of inserting your hook on top, you're going to insert your hook by the side and pull out the hook like this. Then yarn over, pull through. yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So the next step is to make back post stitch. So you're going to yarn over and insert your hook from the back like this and pass it like this. So once you've done that, you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. And that's how to make a back post double crochet. So now we're going to repeat this pattern till we get to the end of the row. Yarn over and insert your hook like this to make your front post double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. And once you've done that, you're going to go in and make a back post double crochet. So now repeat this pattern till you get to the end of the row, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine. So guys, I'm done making my back post and front post stitches, and now I'm at the end of the row, so I'm just going to make a slip stitch in the first stitch we made for the row. Now chain up 1. So this is going to be the end for the body of our beanie. So once you chain up 1, you cut. So finally, this is how mine looks like. It's really beautiful. Now you can decide to wear your beanie like this, or if you would like your beanie with ear flaps, then the next step I'm going to be teaching is how to make ear flaps for the beanie. So the next thing is to discover the corner of your beanie. You can do this by simply dividing your stitches by 2, or you can do this by just eyeballing it. So I'm going to eyeball mine. I think this is the corner of my stitch, so I'm just going to insert a stitch marker in here to mark that. So now I'm going to count 5 stitches before my stitch marker to attach my yarn. So remember, our slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch, so do not count that as a stitch. Then once you've done that, you can now insert your hook, attach your yarn, and chain up 3. Your chain 3 counts as a double crochet stitch. So now we're going to go ahead and make double crochets in each stitch till we get to our stitch marker, and you should have a total of 5 double crochet stitches made, inclusive of the 3 chains you made in the beginning. Always remember not to make any stitch in the slip stitch from your previous row. It's my stitch marker. Finally, I'm going to remove the stitch marker and place 5 more double crochets in the next 5 stitches. So by the end of row 1, you should have a total of 10 double crochets. So now I've made my 10 double crochets. So now let's make row 2. For row 2, for our ear flaps, you're going to go ahead and chain up 2. So now we're going to be decreasing at the beginning and end of the work. Now remember, this chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we'll skip this stitch and place a double crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to make double crochets in each stitch till we have just 2 stitches remaining. So now I have 2 stitches remaining. That's this chain 3 that we did at the beginning and this double crochet stitch. So we're going to go in with a double crochet decrease. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. Now you're going to insert your hook in the third chain here, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Now yarn over, pull through 3 loops. Now you should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops. So now we're going to chain up 2 again and skip the first stitch. So skip the stitch and place a double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to make another double crochet. So I ended up doing 3 double crochets. I'm going to go ahead and do something that we've been doing. So this is optional. You can decide not to do it. So I'll be making a strawberry stitch on the 5th stitch here. So just go ahead and make your strawberry stitch like you've been doing. That's if you're attaching a strawberry stitch here. So once you're done making your strawberry stitch, continue making your double crochet stitches till you have 2 stitches remaining. So now I have 2 stitches remaining here. I'm going to make the double crochet decrease. Now chain 1. If you did the strawberry stitch, you're going to make a row of single crochet. But if you didn't do the strawberry stitch, you continue your decrease rows as normal. Now for this row, we didn't do any decreases, and you should have a total of 6 single crochets by the time you're done. So now we're going to go back to our decrease rows, chain up 2, skip this stitch and go into the next with a double crochet. You're going to do this till you have 2 stitches remaining. So now I have 2 stitches remaining. Then go in with your double crochet decrease. You should have 4 stitches by the end of this row. So now chain up 2, turn up your work, and you're going to skip here and make a double crochet in the next stitch. So now we have 2 stitches remaining here. Remember that this doesn't count as a stitch. Just go in with your decrease stitch, and now you should have a total of 2 stitches by the end of the row. So chain up 1 and cut. Now go ahead and do the same for the other side of the ear flap. So I'm going to tell you guys how to identify where to start your second ear flap. So the math behind this is to deduct 20 stitches from the total number of stitches that you had. And for me, that is 54 stitches. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide 54 by 2. And when I divide 54 by 2, I should have a total of 27 stitches. So I'm going to skip 27 stitches from where my ear flap ended. So this is my 27th stitch. I'm going to insert my hook in the 28th stitch. And this is where I'm going to start making my ear flap, my second ear flap. So attach your yarn and chain up 3. We're now going to repeat what you did here, which is to make 10 double crochets for your first row, then start your decrease rows. So I'm done making the second ear flap. Now we're going to make single crochets around the beanie to kind of give the ear flap a nice edging. So chain 1. Now instead of cutting like we did for the other side, you're going to flip your work and make a single crochet in the first double crochet stitch here and a single crochet in the next stitch. Remember, we ought to have 2 double crochets made by the end of our ear flap. So now you're going to work 2 single crochets by this side, like so, then 2 single crochets in the next. Now when we get to this place that we did the single crochet, we're going to place 1 single crochet stitch. Now once you're done with the side, that's the border, you're going to turn your work and skip here, that's skip the side that we made the last double crochet stitch, and make a single crochet in the next stitch. So now you're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch. So now I've worked my way till I got to the other side of the ear flap, so I'm going to go into the side with 2 single crochets. So remember, just like we did here, we're making 2 single crochets in the sides. So now in the row that we did the single crochet, going with 1 single crochet, and we're going to continue making 2 single crochets in the sides of the double crochet. Now when you get to the top of the ear flap, you're going to go in with a single crochet, and in the next double crochet stitch make 1 single crochet, then make 2 single crochets in the sides of each row with the exception of the single crochet row like we did for the other side. So I'm done working by the sides. We are now at the body, so I'm going to skip this place that I made by double crochet and make a single crochet in the next stitch. So now just keep on making single crochets till you get to your ear flap. Then do the same thing you did at the sides for here in this side as well, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine. So I've made my last 2 single crochets by the side. I'm now going to slip stitch in the first single crochet that we made, chain up 1 and cut. So this is how it looks like. Now the next step is to kind of make, I don't know what they call it, is it a rope or a cord, whatever it is, to attach our strawberries. So I would advise that when you're making this, you wear it on your head to determine how long you want your cord to be. So I'll be kind of making an I-cord stitch, and the way to do this is to like keep like an amount of yarn aside. I don't know how to measure this, but I just like keep as much as I feel would be enough for me. So I will now hold on to these other parts of the yarn and insert my hook into the middle here. So you know we had 2 stitches at the end here, so I'm going to insert my hook into the middle and attach the yarn. Remember, I still have this set aside. Pull up a loop. So if you find this difficult, you can just make a normal chain and slip stitch your way back. it's the same thing. So this is like a faster way of making a chain with slip stitches. So now you're going to hold on to this yarn that you kept aside and roll this up. So what you do next is to wrap this around your hook and yarn over, pull through. So you wrap the yarn you kept aside around your hook, then you yarn over and pull through. So you just keep doing this till you get your desired length. So once you've gotten your desired length, you're going to hold both yarn together and yarn over, pull through like so, then cut. So go ahead and do the same thing. Ensure you make the same amount of stitches that you did here for here as well. I'm done making my cord or straps for the 2 Earflaps. So now the next thing we're going to do is to make our tiny strawberries. So I already have this cute strawberry made, but for tutorial purposes I won't be teaching how to make the strawberries with the red yarn because that will be kind of hard to see. So I'm going to make this with the pink yarn just to show you guys how to do this clearly. So guys, to make our tiny cute strawberries, we're going to start by making a magic ring like so. You can slow down the playback speed to see how I did this if this is your first time making it. So once you have your magic ring made, you're going to go ahead and chain up 1. So now in this ring, we'll be making 7 single crochets. So I've made a total of 7 single crochets. So I'm now going to pull this loose end like so. So now slip stitch in the first single crochet that you made. Then chain up 1, and in that very same stitch make another single crochet. So you're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch till you get to your starting chain. And in the end, you should have a total of 7 single crochets. In order not to make mistakes, ensure that you count your stitches. So once you have your 7 single crochets made, you would notice that it seems like we have a stitch here, but this is not a stitch. This is the slip stitch that we made in the first row. So you're going to skip this and make a slip stitch in the very first single crochet that we made for our second row. So now chain up 1. We are now going to be making a single crochet increase in each of the stitches. So make 2 single crochets in each stitch till you get to your starting chain. So now slip stitch into the very first single crochet that you made. Chain up 1 and make 1 single crochet in each stitch till you get to your starting chain. And by the end of this row, you should have a total of 14 single crochets. This is how your work should look like so far. I just tugged on that to close the work up a bit. So now here looks closed. So once you've gotten your 14 single crochets, you're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch that you made, like so. So you're going to go ahead and repeat row 4 one more time. So chain 1 and make 1 single crochet in each stitch till you get to your starting chain. So now you're going to slip stitch to join. So for our 6th row, chain up 1. Now we're going to be doing a decrease stitch to tighten this up a bit. So to make a single crochet decrease, insert your hook into the front loop of your next stitch, then insert it into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. So now you have 2 loops on your hook, then yarn over, pull through again to make a single crochet. So let's do this again. Insert your hook into the front loop of the single crochet stitch and into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So insert your hook into the next stitch and into the other one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now by the end of this row, you should have a total of 7 single crochets. So now I've worked my way to the end. So if you notice, your work is already closing up a bit. Now slip stitch to join. So now the next step is to stuff this up. So I'm going to be stuffing mine with some scrap yarns that I have. So you can use your hook to kind of make this fit in, because the hole is quite small. But if your thumb can fit in through the hole, depending on what yarn that you're using, you can try using your hands like I am doing. So I'm done stuffing mine, and this is how it looks like. So now we're going to make the leafy part of the strawberry. Insert your hook back into here and attach your green yarn. So you can decide to also tuck this inside or carry it as you work. Chain up 3. So now you're going to skip the first chain and slip stitch into the second chain from your hook. Then do the same for the third chain as well. After you've done this, go into the next stitch and make a slip stitch. So now you're going to go into the next stitch with a slip stitch again and chain up 3. So now repeat what you did here, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and into the third chain. Then into the next 2 stitches, make a slip stitch, chain up 3 again and slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and into the third chain from the hook, like so. Now slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Now chain up 3 again and slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and into the third chain from the hook. So after you're done, you'll notice that you do not have any other stitch aside from the slip stitch that we did in the previous row. So just go into the very first stitch here that you made, that's the stitch that you slip stitched in, and make a slip stitch. So chain up one. Now you're going to leave a long tail that you'll be using to sew this up. So now I'm going to go back to showing you guys how I attach using the red strawberry that I made. To attach your straps to the strawberry, we're going to kind of open this up and insert your strap in it, like so. So we're going to be sewing this together with the strawberry to tighten up the strawberry and secure this. So now with your darning needle, insert the green yarn that you left for sewing. So once you have that, you're going to go into the stitch that you made your slip stitch here and into your strap that's in it. Let me secure this in again. So go into here and into the strap. So pull through and you're going to go back into the strap and out of the second stitch that you made your slip stitch. So now you skip here and go into the first slip stitch that we made, then into the strap. So now you're going to insert your hook back into the strap and into the second slip stitch. Then repeat. Tug at this to make it tight, and this is how it looks like. You can cut off this extra loose ends when you're done. So to kind of hide this, insert your hook back into that slip stitch and insert your hook into the strawberry. Cut off your loose end. So once you've done this, you can go ahead and cut off any other loose end that you don't like. So I'm just going to secure this again and cut it off. So yeah, this is how it looks. It's really beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do is to add the seeds to the strawberry. So now you're going to go in with your white yarn or whatever color you want your seeds to be and insert this into your darning needle. Once you've done that, you're going to insert your hook in like this. So there's no pattern to doing this, just create as much seeds as you like, but try not to make it clustered. So insert your hook again and move to wherever you want to place your next seed. In order to make this not come undone, I will tie up this loose end and tuck this like so. You cut off any loose end that you have. So now you're going to go in to your strawberry and locate where you want to make your next seed. So I want to make mine here. And go in again, locate where you want to make your next seed. Like I say, try to make this as random as possible so it's not clustered. So I think I'm satisfied with mine, and this is how it looks. I don't want to add anything again, so I'm just going to go back in and try to hide this around the work. So I'm going to cut off my extra loose end, and our strawberry is ready. So go ahead and do the same thing that you did here for the other strap as well, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done with mine.